Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the February the 13th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. The title of the meditation, The Ties That Bind. The ties that bind. As long as the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that would tear us apart, all will be well. Now that comes from the basic text, page 60. Many of us feel that without NA, we would surely have died from our disease. Hence, its existence is our very lifeline. However, disunity is an occasional fact of life in Narcotics Anonymous. We must learn to respond in a constructive way to the destructive influences that sometimes arise in our fellowship. If we decide to be a part of the solution instead of the problem, we are headed in the right direction. Our personal recovery and the growth of NA is contingent upon maintaining an atmosphere of recovery in our meetings. Are we willing to help our group deal constructively with conflict? As group members, do we strive to work out difficulties openly, honestly, and fairly? Do we seek to promote the common welfare of all our members rather than our own agenda? And as trusted servants, do we take into consideration the effect our actions might have on newcomers? Service can bring out both the best and the worst in us, but it is often through service that we begin to get in touch with some of the more pressing defects of character. Do we shrink from service commitments rather than face what we might find out about ourselves? If we bear in mind the strength of the ties that bind us together, our recovery from active addiction, all will be well. Just for today, I will strive to be of service to our fellowship. I will be unafraid to discover who I am. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. So we're talking about the ties that bind, right? The ties that bind is recovery from active addiction. And when we're talking about recovery from active addiction, a lot of times we're also talking about discovery of who we actually are. And in that process, there's going to be some darker sides of our personality, if you will, that will pop up at some of the least opportune times. And we have to navigate that. We have to navigate that in the spirit of goodwill, right? Our common bond, right? Our common welfare. And it's not always easy because personalities can get away from us. But when we're talking about the ties that bind, that sets the bar a lot higher than just what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing and my personality showing up in a situation. It sets the bar to think about the whole of Narcotics Anonymous. Will my conduct and my actions affect the meeting place that we have? Will we be able to continue to rent here if I show out at this business meeting? These are thoughts or things that we can think about rather before we allow our personalities to get carried away, before we allow the character defects in our personality to fall short, right? Because that's what they do. They cause shortcomings. Let's be thinking about that today. And it doesn't just have to be Narcotics Anonymous. It can be, like in my experience, it can be with family members. As everyone is emotional and trying to navigate the loss of my father, I can apply the things that I've learned in Narcotics Anonymous about unity, right? Common welfare, right? Selflessness to my family. or I can do it with work. I can apply these things anywhere I need to apply them. These are life-changing, character-building, spiritual virtues that we want to have always, not just on a given day, not just in a given situation, but to be able to practice them in all of our affairs. So let's be looking at how well are we actually doing that, right? And how do we do that? Well, we look at the last time we tripped out, right? We look at the last time we actually got into character, right? I don't want to say got out of character because it's part of our character, these character defects, but we've learned to grow past them. We've had them hopefully removed from us, but there will be lapses. There will be lapses in our behavior. And so when that happens, when was the last time that happened, right? Take a look at that. What were the triggers? And how did you handle it afterwards, right? Not how did you save face? How did you handle it afterwards? Were you able to make prompt amends? Or is it something that's on your amends list, right? Your step 8, because you know it needs to be there. We want to grow from even the discouraging situations that we find ourselves in. And this is a perfect opportunity for us to all do that. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.